right, the special edition of the best sports show anywhere in the world. I can tell you guys, if there's one sports program that you always want to stay glued to, it has to be the best of the best sports show, the best sports show anywhere on planet Earth. On that note, I welcome you to this, exciting edition, a different and a special edition. It is the Independence Day edition of the program, and as usual, I've got my favorite guys also here with me on this platform, and together for the next 25 minutes or 30 minutes or thereabouts, we'll be breaking everything you need to know about Nigerian sports, to you down just like you want it. It's going to be all Nigerian sport today because of what we are celebrating. It is 63 years of independence of Nigeria, and hopefully things will even get better for us as a nation. My name is Farouk Adetola. They call me the Sports Mamba, and I've got my favorite guy also here with me. Let me start with the man for the big question. IBK Sport for Shizo. How are you doing?
Farouk, it's good to be here. I'm sure you're making that independence rice and chicken. I'll be waiting for my invite anyways. But we thank God for life. We thank God for the fact that we are here once again to talk sports.
Well, IBK, you know that my door is always open to you anytime. You don't need an invite to come into my home. Well, let me go to my other guy, Roy. A man I like to banter for no reason, but today is not about bantering. Today is about us reflecting and talking about the positivity you have seen in Nigerian sport for the last 3 years or thereabouts. Roy, how you doing?
Farouk, I'm fine. Oh my God. Okay. Happy Independence, Farouk.
Yeah.
I'm glad you are here today. IBK, Izu, happy Independence, guys. Nigeria 63 today. We've come a long way as regards sports, and I hope we got by our side, everything put in place. We are heading to a better destination, and I just hope that one day Nigeria will be a great nation someday. I'm very hopeful, and I'm very optimistic about it.
All right, let me go to the baby of the house. I like him so much for his tactical genius, a man that is very fast with the game, football, basketball, and many more. And he's still even learning on the trade. Izu, the last born. How you doing?
Hello, Farouk. Good morning. Happy Independence Day to you.
Same to you, my brother.
Yeah, I'm good. In the spirit of celebrating our nation, I also want to celebrate another Edmond in the building, IBK. I saw the award post. Congrats.
All right. On that note, let us all congratulate IBK Sports for yet another award. IBK has been winning awards since university days. I've known him back then from University of Lagos, to where he served as well in the north, and also still winning so many awards on social media. Once again, IBK Sports, congratulations to you and many more to come. Let's just get straight into the topic
I'm honored, my brother.
today.
I'm honored.
And I will stay with you, IBK. And Nigerian sports, has been there for a long time, even before independence. But let's look at our independence, 3 years of Nigerian sports greatness all across board. Yes, there are one or two things that are still affecting our sport, but let's look at the positivity and what we have been able to achieve in the years back. IBK, paint our sport for us in the next 2 minutes, for the last 23 years. What you're able to, recall and what you think we should be doing, going forward. IBK Sports, the floor is yours.
Well, we all know what has brought for Nigeria. We know when we talk about exports, the major value that brings or that people see in Nigeria is basically just sport. Talk about football, talk about basketball, talk about tennis, talk about track and field event, talk about athletics. You know what I mean by, these are the people who have brought a lot of big things to Nigeria. People go out there to see us more, like they start asking for athletes. If you travel around the country, around the world, when you tell them you are Nigerian, they ask you, oh, do you know DJ Okocha? Do you know Kanu Nwankwo? Do you know Chioma Ajunwa? Do you know? You get there's this stuff sport has brought for Nigeria, and I think for me it is the reason we call ourselves giant of Africa. Apart from the struggles of the leadership and the rest, I think sport has been able to balance everything. I've met a lot of sport guys, both past and present, and I can tell you that if these guys leave the shores of the country, they easily know them and they see them as one of the best for African sports in general, Farouk.
IBK Sport, thank you very much for that brief intro. Let me get on straight to Roy, who has also been here for a long time as far as Nigerian sport is concerned. They have seen us win, they have seen us lose, they have seen us celebrate, and they have seen us also, feel so bad when it comes to not winning. And talking about that, Roy, you have an experience or you have a glimpse of what the 1980 team was like when we won our first Nations Cup. You also understand what it means like to also, lose to Portugal at Saudi 89. I remember that match very, very well, where we came back to the semi-final from 4 goals down against USSR to win to equalize 4 and win on penalties. I also remember quite well when we won our second Nations Cup at 1994. That was a special moment against Zambia. Months later, we had the World Cup, gave a good show at United States of America. At that point in time, ranked 5th best nation in the world. 2 years later, we won the Olympics at Atlanta, led by Kanu Mwako, Okocha, and Munike. And again, some years back, 10 years precisely, we won again at South Africa against Burkina Faso in the final. All these moments to put together, and also some of the exciting ones. Which one will stand out for you? And also, which one do you think, absolutely represents the true Nigerian spirit?
Okay. Yeah. Let me say I was fortunate to see Nigerian footballs in the 80s, in the 90s, and what have you, the likes of the Segun Odegbami and Christian Chukwu in 94, Stephen Keshi and the likes, Yeah, all of them actually brought good moments for me personally, and I'm very certain for every Nigerian who loves sports. And sports is one thing that actually unites us as a nation, however you look at it. If you go to a viewing center, for instance, during a football match, nobody cares to know where you are coming from or who you are and all of that. We are united in spirit and, in enthusiasm to win and all of that. So football has brought so much to us, but most importantly, I believe or I think the 1996 Olympics actually brought the most memorable time for me as a sports lover. It's not because it's the best team we have produced, no, but because of the manner at which we won that tournament. We were like the underdogs. Nobody gave us a chance and all of that, and we came from nowhere, and we bamboozled the world. We made the statement that we have arrived in the global scene and all of that. So it was a beauty to watch. The likes of Kanu, JJ Okocha, Taribo West, they all made us proud. Winning, not just winning the likes of Argentina and Brazil was a statement, a global statement that Nigerian sport has actually evolved and we have actually improved. So across the line, however you look at it, I am very happy. And, we repeated that same feat in South Africa, where we won the last Nations Cup with Stephen Keshi and Joseph Yobo and the likes. So Nigerian football has actually evolved a whole lot positively, and I hope the best is yet to come, truly.
All right, Roy. Thank you very much. Let me bring it down a bit closer to us so that Izu can have a feel of what we are talking about. Izu, the last Nations Cup he mentioned, Stephen Keshi is late of blessed memory. The God continue to rest his soul. Jobo Joseph was the captain, served diligently. Iyama, fantastic goalkeeper, arguably one of the greatest goalkeepers to come out of Africa. I stand to be corrected. If there's anybody that wants to come into that argument with me, I'm ready. We won recently. That was 10 years ago. And there was one thing Steve Keshi achieved as a Nigerian, as an African, and also as a global sport ambassador. He also one of those that have won the Nations Cup as a captain, player, and also as a coach. That is unique. That is very, very special group you will find yourself in. How would you describe the late Stephen Keshi, in your own books?
It was, I remember 2013 was, I think I was in high school. I was in high school when that tournament took place. I remember where we watched it. I remember the reaction when Sunday Mba scored that goal. And one of the things I remember about that tournament is the fact that we went unbeaten throughout the entire tournament. Absolutely. You get, and it's one of the times where that was a period where I became active, like following Nigerian, like as a country when it came to football. Prior to that, I had just been hearing, oh, we used to do this, we used to be like this, we used to have these players, we used to have that player. Because my father is one of the biggest people who will talk to you about Atlanta 96. It would always come up in conversations every time. You get. So that was like the period where I watched my country and I saw them win, and it was a very good feeling. Now, in case of late memory, put that team together, and I'm not going to lie to you. For the entirety of that tournament, I was wowed by how we played. Like, when you grew up hearing, "We're the Giants of Africa, we're the Giants of
Absolutely.
Africa." That tournament is the place where we actually went there, and you can literally see that phrase come to life. It felt like nobody could touch us. We breezed through everybody, went and lifted the trophy. I'm not going to lie to you. Anytime I think back to that night in high school, there's a feel-good feeling around me, and I feel like we can get there again. We have everything we need to get there, and we will surely get there. It will just take time and a few tweaks here and there.
All right, thank you very much, Izu. At least in the next 4 months from now, our National Cup, beckons, and definitely we should be one of the favorites to take that title home. It is long overdue for us to win our first. IBK, let me come back straight to you. There are some other iconic names that I think we should also mention here before we get into the Nigerian League, which will be your own forte of dissecting it for us. There are great athletes of the past, the likes of Choma Dunwa, who was iconic at 96, the first individual female to win Olympic gold medal in Africa and also for Nigeria. There's Aruna Kodri, who is still representing us, top 11 players in the world as far as table tennis is concerned. There's also Tobilo Bamuson. She's currently holding the world record in all 100 meters. We also have players in the basketball team that have won basketball on African continent, the female version, 4 times back-to-back to equal the record of Senegal and win our 5th title. That is unprecedented. All of this together, IBK, one word about the names I've mentioned and how they have dropped sweat to represent Nigeria in the past, and those coming after them can always use that as a momentum to climb further.
Well, being the first African Black woman to win an Olympic gold medal in field event, it's not just an easy feat. That's why when every Nigeria, wherever you come from in Nigeria, whether it's is Agege, whether it's Lekki, whether it's Yanopaja, whether it's anywhere in Nigeria, whether it's Nasarawa, whether it's Ibadan, whether it's Kaduna, there's one name you grew up to hear, which is Chioma Ajunwa. Even right then in school, they tell you what she has won, they tell you how she won it, and the rest. So there's this achievement that comes with being the first to do it. So I think Chioma Ajunwa, she's someone who she achieved a whole lot. Winning gold medal is not easy. You know how many countries you are going to compete against, and coming from Nigeria, I think if I want to rank anyone, I think I'll rank her as the best so far, because there's a reason everyone growing up would always hear about her. Now let's talk about her being a police officer as well. Don't forget, apart from being a field person, she's also a police officer. She's been able to impact lives positively in all ramifications. And also, you look at the way Nigerian athletes have been taken care of in the past and recently, it's really nothing to write home about. But these people still want to give in their all for the nation. Now, I'm talking about Tobi Amusan as well. She's someone who, despite the fact that a lot of people are against her in terms of what she has achieved so far, she's a world record holder. She's won multiple gold medals in 100-meter hurdles. And this, I'm talking about, running against top athletes in the world. You talk about United States, talk about Jamaica, you talk about, Britain and the rest. It is difficult. So imagine going all the way to break all these barriers and achieve this feat. I think for me, if I mention these two ladies, we can keep mentioning names. And that's the reason I would say that there's the reason we call Nigeria the Giant of Africa, because we are not only producing fantastic mineral resources, we are also giving in human resources as well.
Well, thank you very much, IBK, for doing justice to that. Before we move to Nigerian League and also Nigerian players playing on the continent, talking about the Champions League, let me come back to Roy. IBK mentioned something very, very important, that we just don't produce natural resources. We also produce human resources. Talk of a country that is not at its best when it comes to support development and also creating an enabling environment. And we are still making so much noise and also competing at the highest level. bring it back to us running sports the way it's supposed to be run, in sinner climbs. What is our level or the limits of our achievements? How can you describe Nigeria? Because Pele once said that the first, Nigeria should have won the World, should win the World Cup before 2010. We are still searching, but I feel if we put everything together, we can be the first African country to win the World Cup. Roy.
Yeah, Farouk, the truth and the honest truth is you cannot look at Nigeria and say we lack talent. It's not possible,
absolutely.
especially when it comes to sports, all right? At every nook and cranny you turn to, you will find a Nigerian youth who is willing and able, capable to give it all when it comes to sports, all right? So if you take a look back, the likes of the Shego Degba means, that was when Nigeria, we went back to the foundation, school sport, backups and
absolutely.
Unless this talent from the very, very beginning, from the very, very young age, you understand? And we nurse them to become whoever they want to be and all of that. That was when the country was actually thriving when it comes to sports. Yeah, administratively, we have gotten it so badly. And that is the reason why you see most of these people that want to represent Nigeria. We've had cases of Nigerian football teams, male and female, you understand, having issues with our sports ministry and what have you, lack of payment and what have you. It's out there, it's a sorry state. I believe these things are very morale dampening and what have you, So we really need to get it right administratively if we have to progress as a nation when it comes to sports, all right? So we have the resources, and success is when opportunity meets with preparedness, all right? These youths are prepared. So we need to give them that lift, that push. And what is that push? That push is when the sports ministry, when the federal government actually looks in the way of the Nigerian sports ministry and actually encourage them to do the needful, so that these people they play passionately. Look at an average Nigerian sports person. When they are out there representing the country, they give their all for the sake of the country. They give their all for the sake of the badge. That is to show you how loving, how passionate, how enthusiastic they are to represent the country. It's just the little here and there that we need to plug in. And trust me, Nigeria will win World Cup one day. We have the talent. Perfectly, can tell you we possess the most potent attack in African football currently. So I believe when we have the necessary tools put together, we will win the World Cup. It's not far-fetched.
Thank you very much, Roy. Let me come back to you. So before we go into the last 10 minutes of the program, we're talking about Nigerian football here in Nigeria, Nigerian League, and also Nigerian players participating in the UEFA Champions League. But before we get that, Izu, National Sports Youth Festival just ended in Delta recently, and Delta won. Lagos finished second. Edo was third. That shows that we are paying attention to youth development in sport. But it's easier said than done. And where I'm going to right now with you is that we have seen in Germany, in America, how college sport UK is very, very important. And like Roy said, the likes of Stephen Keshi, so many players in the past were picked up from secondary school during Principal Cup, Challenge Cup, and here and there. Intentionally, consciously, what do you think the government needs to do? Because sports should be a unifying factor. You go to the view center, you see Hausa man, Yoruba man, and Igbo man hugging each other while we are winning together. And then our differences will lay across on social media when we have issues with ourselves. It shows that if you do things right, sport right, we can bring this country together and also bring glory to this country. Deliberately, what do you think the government needs to do in 1 minute? Izu?
I'll take it up from what Roy said. He said, success is when hard work meets opportunity, and you cannot fall that. Sure, you get. Yeah. Over the years, I also grew up hearing, and I think I watched some of the Principal Cup tournaments as well. You get, but the issue now is when you talk about hard work meeting opportunity, you see countries where, or let's bring it to the NBA, for example. You see players go and play high school basketball, college basketball, hoping one day to get to the NBA, and make it big, play for their families, get the money and all of that. You get, now there's a system that knew that, okay, look, if I commit to this thing, if I make this thing my hustle, if I give every bit of my being, every fiber of me, my time, my dedication, and my love to this thing, and I become good enough, I will get here. You get. But the issue now is, despite the youth festival and the likes that you have in this country, there's really no system in place that takes these people and say, okay, look, this guy is a gem. This guy is going to be our golden goose. This guy can be the face of our franchise. He can be the face of this team. There's nothing like that. The best you get is money and maybe a firm handshake and say, oh, look, you are going places. Keep your head down and keep doing what you're doing. There's really no opportunity will come of that. You get, it's just, you do well in this tournament and that's the end of it. If you're lucky, maybe you make it onto the next one. But there's nothing that takes you from.
I know if I allow you go on and on,
there.
Izu will continue. You know, Izu, let's leave that angle now and look at other areas that we're also talking about Nigerian football sport. Special mention to the likes of the Tigers for doing quite well for us. Special mention to the Falcons, who have won the Nations Cup 9 times. These are female women that have represented us. In fact, they have brought us more joy than the men. The men have won 3 times, while the women have won 9 times. I've been to every World Cup in the world. Now, let's go straight to Nigerian players and the Champions League before I come back to IBK to wrap it all off for us with the Nigerian Football League. Let's look at Nigerian players on the continent. We've got Victor Osimhen from Napoli. We've got Sadiq Umar from Real Sociedad. Samuel Chukwueze from AC Milan. Peter Olayinka from Red Star Belgrade. We have Zaidu Sanusi from FC Porto in Portugal. We have 3 players playing at Royal Antwerp in Belgium. Al-Hassan Yusuf. We have got Chidera Ejuke, as well as George Ilenikena. These guys are representing us on the continent. Who can go the furthest? Let me start from you, Izu. We've got Victor Osimhen, Napoli, Sadiq Umar. We've got Samuel Chukwueze, AC Milan. These are great teams. AC Milan and Napoli are obviously a contender. Who do you think can go the furthest, or who can bring this trophy home? Just like in the past when Mikel Obi, Kanu Wako, and Finidi George won the Champions League representing their clubs and also flying the flag of Nigeria. Uzu, quickly.
It's one thing to be a very good player, and it's another thing to do it against the best of the best. And when it comes to club football, there's nothing bigger than the Champions League. You get that? So I think it will be very good to see Osimhen do it against the best of the best in Europe. Go there, get the goals, possibly win the Golden Boot. If Napoli wins it, it will be all well and good. He's that shining light when it comes to Nigerian football at the moment. But another player I want to quickly touch on is Chukwueze. I've criticized him personally in the past. I feel like he needs to work on his finishing. He can do better. And now he's at AC Milan. You get, and that's the team that got to the semi-finals last season. So it will be very good to see Chukwueze be part of the thing that pushes that team, gets them sick, and take them as far as they can go this season. And then I think Roy was telling me a couple of weeks ago that Royal Antwerp actually plays beautiful football. I don't watch them personally, but it's very good to hear that they have 3 Nigerians in that team. And I'm sure if you check well, they are part of the core that makes that team move the way they move. So there's a lot to look out for when it comes to Nigerian stars this season. And I just hope that fame, fortune, and luck will be on their side and they can go as far as possible.
All right, let me come straight to you, Roy. He has mentioned luck and fame and perhaps go as far as possible. But there are 2 teams that have won the Champions League before. No, 3. Yeah. Porto have won the Champions League before. Red Star Belgrade have also won the Champions League before. AC Milan have won the Champions League second after Real Madrid. And Victor Osimhen was in the quarterfinal last year, scored a lot of goals. Which Nigeria are you looking forward to bring glory back to Nigeria in the Champions League?
Okay, as much as I want to be real here, like I am looking forward to Osimhen. He's the poster boy of Nigerian football currently, and he's doing sticking all the points and what have you. However, there is this silent guy that is also achieving that. He's not so, I don't know, he's not getting his flowers as far as Nigerian football is concerned. Victor Boniface of Leverkusen, the young boy is on fire. If you watch Leverkusen today, you will agree with me that he is in fact, he's one of the best strikers in the world today. If you rank them from 1 to 20, I'm very certain he should be among one of the best strikers in the world. And he's doing well. Leverkusen is playing so fantastic. And they are the dark horses as far as I'm concerned.
Leverkusen plays in the Europa League. Let's point that out. They're not in the Champions League.
They play in the Europa League. Okay, sorry, I thought you said the Euro. So when it comes to the Champions League, I think the closest person to bring it home is actually Victor Osimhen. Sincerely, is the closest person to bring it home. I don't see AC Milan winning the Champions League. They really do not have that formidable squad to go all the way. Champions League is a club football that is meant for, the best teams in Europe. And currently they are struggling, win today, lose today, draw tomorrow, and what have you. So by the time they meet the likes of the Inter Milan, Man City, Real Madrid, I think they will bottle it up, sincerely. So,
all right,
Victor for me.
All right, Abike, just to also have your 1 cent on the Champions League. Roy mentioned AC Milan might not win it, but AC Milan are currently joint first in Serie A, same point with Inter Milan. They have also started their Champions League on a drawing note, and I think that's excusable. But Osimhen has to be your own man, because I know your relationship with Osimhen. He's a man you know very well, that you're very close with. IBK, something is telling me that you are also telling me that Osimhen might go ahead to be the highest goal scorer in the Champions League and also win the Champions League. And I know when you start saying things like that from the start, often than not, it always happen. IBK.
Well, I'm sure you know me very well. I talk about Osimhen very well, and I was one of the people last season that predicted that he was going to finish as a Serie A top scorer and also Napoli finally winning the Scudetto after 30 years. The Champions League, yes, I said it again that I think Osimhen will finish as the top scorer and also Napoli get into the finals of this season's Champions League. He's been on fire. Already 5 Serie A goals this season. Is also, despite the challenges, despite the issue of TikTok videos and the rest, he still kept on, doing what he knows how to do best on the field, which is finding the back of the net. And Osimhen in the Champions League, yes, I expect him to do as I predicted. I'm expecting at least 12 goals from him this season in the Champions League. Hopefully his teammates can also come to the party, because it's a team sport and you need to have everyone on par if you really want to advance. Hopefully they get an easy one in the round of in the knockout stages, and let's see how that goes for them. But talking about other footballers, other Nigerian players in the Champions League, Sadiq Umar is someone I also have a relationship with. I've interviewed him before. I've spoken to him. That was last season when he was battling with the ACL injury. It was lovely to see that my man is back once again. And if you know Sadiq Umar very well, right from the time in Roma, he has gone to about 11 football clubs. And finally, I think at Real Sociedad is someone who wants to settle. As I spoke to him, he wants to settle. He loves the city. He likes the fact that his teammates supported him while he was injured. So these things help footballers grow on the field. And let's see how it pans out for him in the Champions League. I don't expect Real Sociedad to go all the way, but hopefully Sadiq Umar will also make his part this time around this season.
All right, IBK, thank you very much. Well, like you have said, special mention to other players playing in the Europa League and also the Conference League. We've got Nigerians scattered across that. Wish them all the very best. Now, let's talk about the Nigerian League. It was week 1 over the weekend, and we saw loads of exciting games across various centers. We'll also be seeing the Sporting Lagos also represent us here in Lagos. Back then, it used to be MFM, but now Sporting Lagos has taken their slot, and I'm very sure football is back at home of football here in Nigeria. IBK, your forte is Nigerian League. We saw an hat-trick on the first day. We saw a game that saw 8 goals thriller, but all together, 7 games were played over the weekend, 6 victories, 1 draw. Let me see if I can quickly go through the scores of games that were played before you analyze the game the way it is. Here are the scores.
Okay, you want to say, okay, you can read it out.
Let me just quickly read it out, then you break it down for us just like the way it is. Sunshine Stars of Akure defeated Kano Pillars by a goal to nothing. Shooting Stars of Ibadan defeated Plate United by 2 goals to 1. Castina put point to Kwara United by goal to 1. It was 2-2 between Atlan of Owerri and Lobby Stars of Makurdi. Special mention to Atlan for coming back from 2 goals down in that match. Enugu Rangers 2, Joma United 1, by Yelsa United 5. Aqua United 3. That is the game of the weekend, while Abia Warriors also defeated Niger Tornadoes by a goal to 1. And also, special mentions to Rivers United for qualifying into the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup as the only Nigerian left out of the 4 teams that started this campaign. IBK, the floor and the mic is yours.
Well, let me start off with the game of the weekend, which is Bayelsa against Aqua United. In fact, Aqua United, the season they won the league, that was 2 seasons ago. They were unbeaten away from home, and starting the season, on with a loss is so much. I won't say so much damage, but it seems as if there's something not working for them for the Paul Bassi side. We know how formidable they are. We know the kind of setup they have, and one man who has proven that he's ready to bang in this season is Bayelsa United's Robert Mizo. Don't forget, Bayelsa United are also a team who have won the league at some point in time. They've been there. They understand what it means to play in the Nigerian Premier League, and they understand the fact that if they can go all the way, there's high chance that they win the league this season. Robert Mizo scored a hat-trick in the 2023-24 NPFL season, and guess what? He's the first player to score 3 goals on the opening day of the NPFL since 2012, Farouk. Since 2012, he's the first player to score a hat-trick. So I think Bayelsa United, there's something to watch out for Robert Mizo. And I always say that a player that would finish as the highest scorer in the season, it starts from the first game of the season. We've watched Ahmed Musa, we've watched Umfom Udo, we've watched Junior Lukosa. These are you get Udwa. We know these guys. We know when they want to win the Pichichi. I say Pichichi because it's more like the highest scorer in Nigeria. So I think for me, Robert Mizo is someone who we should start watching out for. Hopefully, don't snatch him in January. As Nigerian League, they always do now. Okay, talking about the other games, Shooting Stars against Plateau United. I was in these fixtures last season. I was in Shooting Stars. I was at Adama Singba Stadium in Ibadan. And I can tell you for a free that when you are coming to Ibadan, you know what to expect against Shooting Stars. They come all out. They have the fans around them. And I'm also close to Plateau United because I spent some time in Jos earlier this season. I spent some time in Jos. I remember when Ilechukwu was the coach of the side. They went to the continent. He finished second at some point in his Abridged League group. And I spoke with Daniel Itudo as well, the captain of Plateau United. And he also promised that this season is going to be different. Although they have a new coach, let's see what is going to happen in that one. But they started the season with a loss. And we know playing away from home in the league is always very difficult. So I really don't think that should mar their season, because I'm sure that Plateau United, they have good players, fantastic players, and hopefully they can push it out this season once again. And Atlant against Lobby Stars, I remember talking to a colleague of mine. Lobby Stars were leading 2-0, Farouk, and he was like, can Lobby Stars snatch the win? And I was like, bro, snatch the win. They have to go lead. And before I say 1, 2, 3, Atlant already equalized. Yeah. So I didn't, and remember that Lobby Stars, they were terrible during the Super 8 tournament. They were terrible. Yeah. Sorry, Super 6 tournament. They put that way. The Super 6 tournament, they were terrible. They couldn't even score a goal. They lost practically almost all their games. And I'm wondering how they made it down to the Super 6. They didn't really stop there. They started once again on a bad note, losing. Sorry, not even losing. You were 2 goals up and you threw away that lead against Atlant.
IBK, wrap it up for us. Let's also mention about Rivers United, who qualified for the group stages of the Confederations Cup, as well as special mention to also Sporting Lagos before we wrap it up.
Yeah, quick on Rivers United. Yesterday, I think their fans were already pissed off that they missed 2 penalties and they're already leaving the stadium. But guess what? They eventually won their game. So I think that's what Rivers United can give you. They are a formidable side. They have good players. They have, if I'm going, when you start mentioning, what's their coach name again? I think I want to remember. Stanley Guma, you get Stanley Guma has been the coach of the side for a while now. He understands the thing. He knows what they need to win the league. Even during the Super 6, it was just a little bit of shake-up that made Enyimba go the way in that one. But we know what to expect when you play against a team like Rivers United. I'm playing on the continent, qualifying for the group stages. In fact, this is the first time we need to start celebrating our team. Hopefully, the Rivers State government will try and support them and give them what they need to go all the way in on the continent. Why for Sporting Lagos, we know what it means. I should be there today at Mobolaji Stadium Arena, and hopefully, we heard that the Lagos State FA don't want them to brand the stadium, but I think that's more like a political thing. We don't know how they will solve that, but I'm sure Sporting Lagos, they have everything to get their first win in their first MPFL.
All right, thank you very much, IBK. I know that if I allow you to go on and on, you will not finish, talking about Nigeria League. Well, that is the size of the program this lovely day. I'm very sure you guys have enjoyed us breaking Nigerian sport down for you, just like the way it should be given attention across board. Let me just take your final word, guys. Let me start from you. Izu, your final word, bro.
We're having a conversation a couple of weeks ago about Nigeria slipping out of the top 3 when it comes to football ranking in Africa and the upcoming AFCON tournament, in relation to that. So I think my parting word today would be, I want to repeat what I said that day, basically. If we're mad about the fact that we're no longer in the top 6, this tournament is the right time to do it. We have everything we need. IBK said he doesn't necessarily trust the coach, and I think I support him a little bit in that. But notwithstanding, we have the right players, and I think we should go all out and go as far as we can. I really want us to win the tournament. You get that's my hope for the upcoming AFCON. But then we'll see what happens. But I really think we should push ourselves to go to the very end and bring it back home.
All right, so Roy, your final word.
Okay, so my final note will be on the sports ministry. I want to use this medium to actually plead with them to actually do the needful as we are preparing for this Nations Cup that is coming up. They should actually, I think this is the one thing that unites Nigeria, that puts a smile on our faces. So, I mean, it reduces the whole pressure and the tension politically in the country. So let the sports ministry, the Minister of Sports, actually ensure that this team will be given the necessary support to bring this tournament home.
All right, IBK.
Well, for me, I think there's really nothing much to say, but to just congratulate Nigeria. As much as we want to say Nigeria is somehow painful to some of us right about now, I think it's still our fatherland, and we really don't have any other place to go. It has given us a lot more than what we can even get. So hopefully, we hope that Nigeria will continue to be a better country.
Thank you very much, IBK. On that note, we have come to the end of this program. For those of you listening, you can always be part of the program by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Best of the Best Sport on YouTube, as well as follow us, put on a notification, and also comment every now and then. We promise to serve you all with best content coming out from our stable. On that note, happy birthday, Nigeria. We wish Nigeria all the best, and may God bless us all as a nation. I'll see you again some other time.